So when I talk to a man and say, this is a spiritual father. So when I talk to a woman and say, this is a spiritual mother, I know exactly what we are talking to. Why we call someone a spiritual mother. Good morning and win forever. Thank you so much. Now, this is a wonderful Sunday evening, and I decided now after service, let me do this video episode before I do any other thing. So today I want you to listen to this one. I've seen the comment section of the previous videos, like 3 episodes that have just gone by, and there is one thing I noticed on some comments, that is, or some comments. People say, oh, in fact, somebody was very particular and talked about, oh, let's praise the God that created the people, not the people that were created. Okay, I want to make this thing clear. We have never seen God physically. I want you to think that. We have never seen God physically. And in fact, the spiritual law does not allow God to move under the sun without a human occupation, no human body. God is not allowed. We have spiritual rules. I've said this many times in some previous episode, and I reiterate it again because I knew why I was saying it. So God needed mankind. Let me bring you back to the redemption plan. So in the beginning there's a word, and the word was with God, and the word was God himself. And then the word turned into flesh. Then after the word turned into flesh, then it continues to the 4 verses ahead, verse 12 going downwards. That is John chapter 1 verse 1 to 12. Read it there very well. Without this word nothing was created. So the redemption plan started by a word in heaven, by God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So when they knew this, so the Trinity sat down and was thinking, like, how do we do this? How do we execute the redemption of mankind? So they say, the word has to turn into flesh. So that's why Jesus was to be born, not to fly down to earth. And this is where many people don't understand. Jesus was to be born. And now they didn't want to care. The heavens didn't want to care how Jesus would be born. But they cared that he was born in a state where all lost mankind can witness his birth. And so he was born all of a sudden. And then let me see, in a human body. Then this brings me back to Genesis chapter 1. That we talks about, let us make man in our own image and likeness. So this body is a certain image, likeness, and likeness of God. So the body, because the body of a human being has spirit, soul, and body, right? This one you see, there is a spirit, there is a body, and there is a soul. We get this. And this is an impartation that God has to use a human being to reach to another human being. And the human beings would reach each other through the redemption plan by the power of the Spirit of God that was brought in through the example that every word and every spirit became human being. And that was the redemption plan. So when Jesus had to come under the sun, so the redemption plan was to be complete when Jesus Christ died and resurrected. So we had a Christ. That's where we were given birth into a new us that are purported to be of God, the incorruptible seed. So when we are talking about believing in the Holy Spirit, man is directly connected to it. Okay, man is direct. Human beings are directly connected to it. That's why in the books of epistles, the book of John, the epistles, James, the epistles, there is a place where it is written. I know you've read this part of it. That who is man that is far more exalted than the angels. The angels are in spirit being. And you know, man are in spirit and in physical. So man can dominate the earth at the same time dominate the spiritual. So we are well placed into it. So when I talk to a man and say, this is a spiritual father. So when I talk to a woman and say, this is a spiritual mother, I know exactly what we are talking to. Why we call someone a spiritual mother. So when we talk about a spiritual father, when a man nurtures men, he is called a father of the men he has nurtured, he has mentored, he has reached a level where he talks about them as sons and them as him, father. The same to a woman nurturing men and women. They come to a level where they call her mother, and then her calling them sons and daughters. Are we together? And because now there is no gender in heaven and there's no gender in the spiritual realm, they are all sons. I know I've answered somebody's question today. It's me, Timothy Profitable, and this is Blevoy. We handle your spirituality, economic and social matters. See you in the next episode.